Hello. Happy Monday. Okay, get some of my stuff set up here. I had too many windows open and I was in like the wrong place. Last time I had my audio settings wrong. So just when I thought I had everything all figured out, I went backwards. So hopefully you all can hear me. Would love it if you said hello when you popped on. I'm really excited to be live with you all tonight. All right, let's see here. I'm going to close out a couple things so it doesn't slow down my computer. Happy Monday. Super excited for Make It Monday Live. How is everyone doing this evening? I don't see as many people hopping on as I usually see, so I'm hoping that everything is... Okay, there we go. They're starting to pop on. All right. Welcome, everyone, to another Make It Monday Live. I was a little nervous that I would be able to broadcast on Facebook because Facebook was down most of the day today. And there's all sorts of news articles and all of that going on about it. And I didn't know what was going to be happening. And I got to thinking, well, I can go live on YouTube as well if Facebook doesn't work out. I'm not seeing any comments come through. So I'd like to ask if someone could just post a hello or something in the comments so that I know that this is all working. You are able to see and hear me, and that my technology is set up right. I would really appreciate that. Tonight I am making some new cards with the Christmas season bundle. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Okay, good. I hope that you're able to hear me okay. I'm really excited to announce my newest class to go, and I've got some projects that you'll be able to use with some leftovers from your class. And I also have a project that you will be able to make with the supplies from my bundle. Even if you do not have a die cutting machine, you have the option to add on the bundle, and you will be able to make these projects, this extra project tonight that I'm making with your die cutting machine. So super excited for that. For those of you who are new to my channel or new to my videos, welcome. I'm super glad you're here. I probably sound a little bit discombobulated tonight, and that is because I'm watching these viewers and I can tell things are still not right with Facebook. I usually have way more people watching by now, and it just doesn't seem to be connecting very well. So that is just distracting me a little bit because I'm trying to make sure all is good with technology. But for those of you catching me on YouTube, no problem. We'll just keep on going. So again, if you're new, welcome. I would really appreciate if you share my video with your crafty friends. I give away prizes each week for those who share my video, and I would love to give a prize to you. So don't forget to share my video. While you're on my YouTube channel, if you would subscribe and ring the bell, that would be amazing, because as you can see, technology is not always the most reliable. And so at least when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you will be able to catch me live or catch the replays to my videos if you aren't able to see them on Facebook. So let's see. I'm also going to give away prizes for viewers. So to make sure that I know you're here, I would love it if you would say hello and let me know where you're from. Let's interact with each other while I stamp. I think that is always fun when we do that. Okay. I am going to, let's make sure I have everything in my notes, and then I'm going to flip around. Oh, I didn't even tell you who the heck I am. So My name is Rose Grunwald. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I'm stamping with you tonight in my Stampin' Studio here in New Holstein, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful, crisp fall night. Got my Stampin' sweater on, and I am ready. Okay, Kay says a few Facebook page commenting. Okay, you know what? Thank you, Kay, for letting me know. What I'm going to do is open my Facebook and watch those comments because I am not seeing them. So I will open a, hang on one second. There we go. All right. Okay, now I'm seeing a whole bunch of comments there. Oh my gosh. Facebook has been having major issues with this tonight, and it's not it's not going well. So, but I will check the comments afterwards, and everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube will get a chance in the drawing. So thank you, Kay, so much for letting me know that that was going on. I don't want to miss any comments because I know a lot of questions come through as I'm stamping. So, all right, let's flip this camera around now that I'm all flustered. That's life though, right? Okay, so, gotta move my pretty paper out of the way. Tonight, we are stamping with the painted, a couple of the items in the painted Christmas suite. So tonight specifically, we're using the Christmas season stamp set and dies. So here's our stamp set. There are 14 images in here. Beautiful painted looking images. They are gorgeous. And we've got dies that create beautiful labels and some of the die cut images from in the stamp set. It's another like 2-page die set that coordinates as part of the bundle. Now remember, when you buy the bundles, you save 10%. So buying a bundle when it coordinates like this is a really great deal for those of you who are frugal shoppers and like to save money. You can see that Stampin' Up! Has done some awesome stuff with this bundle. Some homemade envelopes out of this Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. We got some beautiful cards with these images. And this bundle is what I'm featuring in this month's class to go. But you notice there's no sentiments in here, which is okay because it's good to have just a pretty image set. And what I love about this image is I'm an outdoorsy gal. I can totally see using this on masculine cards, the pine cones, the leaves, and just matching it with like a happy birthday or something like that. But because there's no sentiments in here, in my class to go, you have the option to add on the Christmas to Remember bundle. Now, if you didn't want to add this on, that's okay. You can swap it out for any of the sentiments that you have in your stamp set would work great. So no worries. All right, I'm just flipping over to Facebook, seeing lots of comments. Yeah, Facebook, it's all over the news. Facebook had a major outage today. And so I'm not surprised to hear that lots of these notifications aren't coming through. I don't think it's fully upline yet today. So lots of technology issues. Probably a great reason to go subscribe to my YouTube channel just in case we have continued issues with Facebook. You could at least catch me live there if you haven't done that already. All right, now, what is all included in my class to go? I want to take a minute and tell you that because this class is really different from my other classes. I'm so excited to roll this out. I think you're going to love the platform for this class. So, first of all, you get a half a pack of this pretty Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. And this stuff is so gorgeous. Look at these Of course, my colors, it seems really blurry a little bit on my screen, but absolutely beautiful. We've got this design. We've got this one here. We've got some ferns going on. We've got some more foliage and like little berries and berry sprigs. Oh, and I love this like chevron design. And of course it's double-sided. So on our back, we have more like pine cones with a little wood grain background. I love this designer series paper. This really pretty soft toned like holly leaves and holly berry set. Gorgeous. More like foliage and little red berries. Some more foliage. Do you see? This could be used for way more than Christmas. Oh my goodness, way more than Christmas. I could see a lot of man cards coming out of here, especially if you pair this pretty one with this one. Holy man cards coming your way. We got these pretty berry sprigs with the pine. And then this is probably my favorite sheet in the whole pack. It's so gorgeous, this like painted outline, and I love this one too. It's really hard to choose a favorite, but all right. So you get a half a pack of that paper in your class. You also get a pack of these red rhinestone basic jewels. Now, many of you might know that I partner up with my friend Jody to design these classes. And she and I have been talking about adding these red rhinestone jewels in our classes for a long time. I finally ordered them and got them here because we decided to include them in this class. And I don't want to stop using them. They are so gorgeous. They look so rich and beautiful, and you get a ton of them. So that's included. You get a pack of these. Let me show you these. These are really cool. You get a pack of these gold holly leaves. And these are really stunning. Let's see here if I can get you a close-up of these. Aren't those really pretty? They like shimmer and shine and just love it. Okay. And then, let me grab this here. We also have the included is the cherry cobbler and gold metallic ribbon is included in the class. Isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. I love this ribbon. I don't know, I'm a little bit off screen. Sorry about that. I'm trying to switch back and forth between my platforms so I can see comments. Okay, now, again, included in your class, you are going to get a pack of basic white note cards and envelopes. So you have all the supplies in here to make 20 cards. And in your class, you are going to use every single one of these. You'll have enough to make all 20 cards. And we'll also include 4 mini paper pumpkin boxes. And you will have the PDF tutorial to decorate a mini paper pumpkin box. And then included in your box, this class is designed to not only have the decorated box, but you will also make, and I'm only going to show you 3 of these cards, 5 decorated cards along with decorated envelopes to go in your class, in your box. Here's another one. So what you'll end up with is 4 decorated gift box sets with 5 cards each in. So you will be able to give away these gift card sets as gifts, or you will be able to keep all of them to yourself. It's totally up to you what you want to do with them. So that class is a little bit different than we have been doing lately. Now, the other cool thing that's going on is that if you are a part of my VIP group, not only will you get all of the PDFs, or not only will you have the opportunity to get the class if you purchase the class, but those in my private VIP group will also get tutorial for 4 additional cards. And I'm going to start doing this every month. So you'll get a tutorial for this gorgeous card and a tutorial for this gorgeous card. And that is only for my VIPs. How do you become a VIP? You have to have placed an order with me. It is that simple. All right, now let's get to stamping because I have been yapping your ear off long enough here. I've already got some pieces die cut for tonight. What's really funny is as I was designing for tonight's projects, I realized I hadn't been using my Very Vanilla very much lately. So I started playing around with Very Vanilla and combining it with these stamps and the designer series paper. And I have to tell you that Very Vanilla is not one of the colors in our paper. So you know that each pack of paper on the back tells you the colors that coordinate with it, and Very Vanilla is not in here. But I have been making so many cards with the Very Vanilla. It goes so well with the colors in this paper. It's just absolutely stunning. So I'm starting with a card base of Very Vanilla thick, and it's just a half a sheet of cardstock. I have folded and burnished that edge, so it was 5.5 by 8.5. I folded it in half, so the card size we're making is 4 by 5.5. Now, I love, for those who watch me, I do my fair share of tone on tone stamping and layers. And so we are going to layer this. We're making a clean and simple card tonight. We're going to layer this with a piece of Very Vanilla. We'll go kind of next, but we'll wait to do that layer until we finish the rest of our card. All right, for stamping, I need a sentiment here. So I am going to grab my Christmas to Remember stamp set. And I'm going to put it here on this die cut label piece from the coordinating dies to the Christmas season bundle. These are the seasonal label dies. Now the cool thing when you cut these out, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you can kind of cover over the sentiments and see which sentiments end up working really, really well with your die cut. And I think I like this Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. I also really like May This Christmas, May This Be a Christmas to Remember and Cherish. I think that's the one I'm going to use. All right, I'm going to grab my Real Red. Thanks everyone for sticking with me through my technology glitches and trying to figure out who's commenting where, and oh my goodness. I just love stamping with you all on Monday evenings, and I didn't want to miss it, and I didn't want to miss out on any of our fun conversations. So just really appreciate all of you sticking around through it. It's interesting when Facebook has issues, right? Okay, I'm going to clean this off right away on my chamois. If you don't have a chamois, you need to get one. This thing was dry and needed to be cleaned. I just rinsed it under my sink and wrung it out, and I was good to go. It was really awesome. Okay. Back here. All right, now we're just going to do a little bit of cutting for some layering on this card. So let me get my trimmer. I just grabbed a couple chunks of paper from my scrap here, and I'm going to cut a little strip that's 1/4 inch wide, and we'll make it 4 inches long. So even scraps this small can absolutely be used in your cards. Hey, all of my comments are showing up in my service again. Great. And I just see that Robin asked, what is your question for us tonight? Okay, that is a great question. I would love to know about your Halloween. I know we're making Christmas cards, but it's October. And Freeform is having like 31 nights of Halloween. I would love to know your favorite Halloween movie. That is the question I have for you tonight. All right, so that's my get to know you question. I would love to hear your favorite Halloween movie, and then after I see some come through, I will tell you mine. All right, for our next piece, I'm going to grab a piece that is 3/4 of an inch wide and just cut a little strip off. And then this one we're going to do 3 inches wide, or 3 inches long. So we've got this little piece. Nothing extravagant. Oh, Lisa says Hocus Pocus. Lisa, I just watched that last night. And my husband asked me how many times I've seen it. And I told him not as many times as the movie that I'll share with you after I hear what your favorite Halloween movies are. All right, so now I've got a couple layers here, like so. And we also need a layer of our pretty shimmery ribbon. So some of these wider ribbons, I tend to use them as layers instead of tying them in bows, because the bows can get a little bulky. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So I am measuring this to the width of my card, what would you call this? My card front layer. And then I'm just going to kind of snip this off here. It doesn't need to be perfect. We can always snip more if we need to. That probably will be good. October Kiss on Hallmark is, I've never seen that one, but if it's a Hallmark movie, I bet I would love it. And what else do we have here? Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a good one. Hocus Pocus. And hubby's favorite is Friday the 13th. I don't really do scary movies. About as scary as I get is there was an old Halloween movie that was on the, I don't know if you remember, but back in like the 80s and late 80s and early 90s, Disney would always have a Sunday night movie. And they had a movie called Mr. Boogedy. And that one is about as scary as I get. Kathy says it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Not a movie, but my favorite. I consider that a movie for sure. Gloria hates Halloween movies. I hate scary Halloween movies, but I have some Halloween movies that I love, which annoys my husband probably to death when you hear what my favorite is. Okay, so I need to explain what I'm doing in my stamping here too. I use my Seal Plus to put glue on the back side of my ribbon. And we're just going to glue this down onto our card front like this. This is just one of our layers. Okay, now before we go too much further, we are going to do, I got to find the color here. We're going to do a little bit of ink spritzing, and I think I'm actually going to use my Evening Evergreen to do this with my Stampin' Right marker. So I'm going to move my paper out of the way, and I like to just take the marker tip and lightly flick it against the cover of my marker like that. It's not a super aggressive flick, it's pretty gentle, but what it does, I'm going to move this closer so you can see it. Oh, Patricia got kicked off, but she's back. Welcome back. I'm glad you could find me. Hopefully all of you are able to find your way back if you get kicked off. You see how it leaves this little splatter? We're just looking for that whimsical little splatter of ink across the front of our layer. Okay, we need to do more gluing. Next, we're going to take this piece, and whether you use your Seal or your Seal Plus really doesn't matter. Here I have my Seal Plus out, so I'll just use that. And maybe because I'm gluing it to this ribbon, Seal Plus would be a good idea. Harvest Moon is a good one too. Okay, is that another Hallmark movie? So it sounds like it would be. All right, now we're going to glue this little layer kind of in the center of this ribbon. We're not going to cover it completely. We're just going to cover about half of our ribbon with this layer. Just like this. What we're doing is we're building some whimsical layers with our strips of Designer Series paper. Now this next one is a little too narrow for me to use. Ooh, this would look good too. Wow. And actually, I'll trim this off a little bit because it's a little wider than I would like. But I'm going to use the red piece. I'm going to use my liquid glue here because it's a little too thin for me to use my Seal or Seal Plus. Oh, I see a newbie, Sarah. Welcome. And some of your comments, if you're new here, I'm so sorry if I didn't catch you earlier when we were having more Facebook issues. Would love for you to tell me if you're new or a regular watcher. I love to read all your comments when I'm done. And those that are regulars can tell you in the comments that I read and respond to, like every week I respond to comments and I read every single comment. I'm just going to trim off some of this piece. It's a little longer than I want. I want to leave different lengths of layers here. Okay, are you guys ready for my favorite Halloween movie? You're going to laugh. My favorite Halloween movie of all time is the Garfield Halloween special. It's like the cutest darn thing. Garfield goes trick-or-treating with Odie, and he's like super excited to get candy because we all know he's like fat and sassy, which is like my kind of cat. And they end up at this old abandoned house that has pirates coming back from the dead to like get their loot that they left behind. And of course it goes through their adventures. Oh my gosh, Sarah knows it. Candy, 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 candy. Yes, absolutely. And my favorite thing is at the end, he says in a pirate voice when they get back to shore safely, and Odie tells Garfield that, shows him, hey, look, here's our boat, because they're like trying to get back home because they were in a rowboat in the river. And he shows them that their boat ended up on shore, and Garfield says, it do be me candy are, like a pirate. And it's like just been a saying in my family forever, and it's super fun. The other fun thing, now we've got these layers. So what I did was I popped the stamped image up on dimensionals here. And, you know, as I'm looking at this, it would really be beautiful, especially because we put these ink splatters here, to just glue this very vanilla down, or you can pop it up on dimensionals. I think I'm going to pop it up. So what's really funny is while Odie and Garfield are like trick-or-treating, there's a lady who only gives them like one piece of candy, and he tells her that if she doesn't reconsider her contribution, he'll give her living room drapes a taste of his broadsword. And when I was a kid, I always thought he was saying, like, I used to call bratwursts brat swords because I thought that's what Garfield called them because of that movie. Just weird things that we pick up as kids, right? Okay, I'm doing my best to center this. Little tip when you're centering layers on dimensionals, I always lay them down very gently first so that if I mess this up, I can pick it right up again. And then after I know it's in the right place, I kind of push down and secure those sticky dimensional pieces. Just like that. Okay, now I also die cut some of our leaves from our seasonal labels dies. So remember, it's not just labels on here, they're also coordinating die cuts. I use this like sprig and then this leaf sprig. And I didn't stamp anything, I just cut them out here out of my Very Vanilla. And what I want to do is tuck these kind of in behind my layers, and I might need to cut them a little shorter. So I think I will do this one up here. I'm just going to cut it a little shorter. I can't believe that someone else here knew Garfield. Super cute. Love that. And I also love It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That one is definitely my next favorite. So, whoops, I used the wrong side. What I am doing here is grabbing a glue dot and sticking it on, and what we're going to do is use that glue dot to secure our layer. Secure our layer. There we go. Okay, now we're just going to tuck it behind here. Okay, and now we've got this other piece. We're going to bring this one in on the opposite corner. I should have thought about where I put these dimensionals. I think we're going to trim this one off a little bit here too. It's a little too long for the space. No big deal. We'll just trim it off, and then we can kind of tuck it in. Oh, Aneka, I think that's how you say it, Aneki or Anika. I know that you explained how to say your name one time. Kathy asks, what is it that you keep your glue dot roll from coming apart? Oh, that's a great question. This is a piece of baker's twine. It actually came from it was part of a bundle in our spring catalog. There was Night of Navy and Basic Gray. I think it coordinated with the Well Dressed. And I only had a little bit on my roll left, and it retired, so I just tossed it aside, and when this frays, I just retie it. So I wrap it around, I tie it in a bow, and then as I'm pulling my glue dots off, I just pull this down, and it keeps this nice and kind of in place so that it doesn't float away on me. So great question. Okay. So there we go. We've tucked in our layers. And now we need to put on our bling. We need to put on our bling. And so here's where the magic really comes. When we throw on some of these red rhinestones, oh my gosh. Okay, look at how, now, I know this is tone on tone. I like a little tone on tone with a pop of color. And these red rhinestones add so much to this card. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go here. And I think I'm going to put 5 on this time. I'm going to go here. I always like to do odd numbers. And we'll do one down here. Gorgeous, huh? Inuka. Okay. Thank you for telling me again. I appreciate it. Thank you for being patient. There we go. Look at that bling, shimmer and shine. That was easy. I was talking about Garfield almost the whole time that we were stamping. But yeah, of course, with this very vanilla, you can put some layers on the inside if you like. Or you can leave it blank to write a nice lengthy Christmas note as you send out this Christmas card. Isn't this easy? Now, you wouldn't even need to tuck these pieces in. As you remember, it looks just beautiful the way it was if you didn't want to do die cutting. And if you do not have a die cutting machine, you could skip these all together and just use a punch for your sentiment as well. So there is my first card for tonight. I've got another one, so don't go anywhere. For those of you who are new, or not new, but who just joined, I should say, the live, thanks for joining. I'm doing prizes next week for viewers, and for me to know that you viewed, you need to comment. So make sure you comment so that I know that you're here. I'll do a prize drawing out of all the people who watched that left comments, and for sharing. So if you hit that share button and share on your Facebook, or even if you're watching on YouTube and you hit that share and share it on social media somewhere, I'll do a prize drawing. But you need to tell me in the comments that you shared so I can line it up with the number of shares that Facebook tells me I have. Okay, so there's our first card. Now, I made this card with 2 of these leaf sprigs and a different sentiment. You can get an idea of how that looks there. And of course, 2 different colors. So I used some softer green behind, and it looks different too. So lots and lots and lots of options here for making this card layout. Okay, let's get ready for card number 2. I told you I could not stop crafting with this stamp set once I got to using the very vanilla. Oh my gosh, sometimes you get a little blocked, and I'm going to be honest and say that I was a little blocked because I don't do note cards a lot. When I was designing these note cards, I felt a little bit blocked, and then I just got to stamping on these very vanilla pieces, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. I couldn't stop. Now, this next card that we're going to make has absolutely no die cutting at all if you don't need to. Now, on the one that I designed that I'll show you after this card is finished, I did use this little tiny label die from our die cutting pieces. But you do not need to use that. If you do not have a die cutting machine, You don't need to use that little die. And the card I'm going to make right now shows you how to make this card that I designed without any dies at all. Just stamps, ink, and paper. And I put a little ribbon in there because I couldn't resist. I love ribbon. I just love it. On every card, I have to have ribbon. So we're going to start with our card front layer, and this is a piece of Very Vanilla. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now, if you didn't catch those measurements, and I want to tell you this too, each of these cards are going to be featured in one of my blog posts this week. You can find my blog at www.rosegrunwald.com. They're a separate post, and they'll link back to this replay, and all the measurements for these cards will be in there, so you don't have to worry about jotting down the measurements. Ineka asked, did I use several ribbons? What I used on this first card was the Cherry Cobbler and Gold metallic ribbon. And then these layers behind it are actually pieces from the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. Little strips that I cut off. Sally says, love the sprinkles on the first card. Oh, your first time catching me live. Thank you for watching, Sally. Yeah, I love to do these little ink splotches. Oh my gosh, they make all the difference in the world. And we're going to do them again on this next card. Okay, so here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is a little stamping with these larger, longer leaf sprigs. And this is a nice photopolymer stamp set. So, photopolymer stamps don't have quite as much cushion as our red rubber stamps. So do you see, I'm going to show you here, on our red rubber stamps, there's this little cushion in between the sticky part and the red rubber. Okay. Now, here in photopolymer land, there is none of that cushion. It's just a rubber sticky stamp that goes right on your block. So what I always do when I am stamping with photopolymer, I bought myself some of these Stampin' Pierce mats, and these are like cushiony. By the way, I just cover these with printer paper and tape them with my Scotch tape so that I have a nice clean surface, because if you don't cover these with paper, your ink takes a while to dry and it can transfer over to your project. So I always like to cover them with a scratch paper. By the way, I use them a lot. Look. So they definitely get plenty of use. Okay. So I'm stamping here on a Stampin' Pierce mat to give me a little cushion to get a nice image with my stamp, my photopolymer stamp. Okay, I'm gonna grab, I gotta find my color here, soft seafoam. Now, if you don't have any of these Stampin' Pierce mats yet, you could use like a catalog, I think works. A mouse pad works, not quite as good as these, but a mouse pad does work if you needed to get a little cushion with your photopolymer stamp. Oh, thank you, Barbara. That's so sweet. All right, so I've got soft seafoam is the ink I'm using here. And I'm going to ink this up. Okay, and I'm going to come in here from the middle. And then go up from the side. And then down here from the side like that. And by the way, I took these colors from the colors mentioned or listed in the Designer Series paper. I always steal color combination ideas from what's listed in the Designer Series paper. And you would be surprised at how amazing some of those look together that you would have never thought about. Bernetta asks, where can we get the Stampin' Pierce mat? You can get these right from Stampin' Up! On my online store. If you go to www.rosegrunwald.com, across the top, there's a whole bunch of links to my blog, my online classes to go, and one of them says shop. And if you click that, there will be a link for you to go right to my online store and shop. Great question. Hi, Marge. Glad that you could make it. All right, now we're putting away this leafy sprig thing, and we are going to get out our fun holly leaves. I am going to need this bigger block. Okay, so I am mounting these. By the way, I'm using a D block, and I tend to use a block as small as I can get away with to mount my stamps. I just find it's easier for, this might fit on a C block, but what we're going to do with it, and it's pretty close. I don't want it hanging over the edge. I just find I get nice crisp images and no issues when I use my C block. Now you wait till you see these holly leaves. These look like they are painted. They are flippin' gorgeous. Love them. Pat, I am partial to holly leaves too. Absolutely love them. I guess while we're stamping a Christmas card and we're on the topic of our favorite movies, I would love to know your favorite Christmas movie. That would be a great question for us to get to know each other. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Okay, I'm using Soft Succulent here for my next image. And I'm going to tuck this in here in between our leaf sprigs like that. And then I'm going to do the same up here, like so. And my other holly leaf is a little off the paper. That's okay. Which, by the way, is why we use our scrap paper on our Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay. Now clean this off with my chamois. Takes 2 seconds, and then I can put it right away as I'm mounting the next step. Yes, Aneka, that is a really great point. It's totally worth it to get the crisp images. It's one of the cheapest things in the catalog. In fact, it's so cheap. You guys, do you see this? I have these so that I can always grab a clean one and not transfer the ink. I have 4 of them sitting here on my desk next to me that I can just grab when I need it. And when they get too full of ink, I just take off the scratch paper and refill them all and use them till they're all dirty again. It works awesome. Okay, now we're going to grab these bigger, it's these here, these berries. Mount these. We're going to stamp those in Cherry Cobbler. Yes, Aneka, all other brands, this is the best. I agree with you. I've tried a million things, and this really is the best. The Stampin' Pierce mat is amazing. Okay, we're going to use Cherry Cobbler on these little berries. I wanted a deep, rich red. Okay, I'm seeing the Christmas movies coming in. Any Hallmark movie. Elf, that's a good one. White Christmas is a good one. Home Alone. Oh, Little House on the Prairie Christmas. You know what? I never saw that one, but I like Little House on the Prairie. I think I would like it. Okay, now that we've got our berries, and actually let me test that. Yeah, that's a little dark, so I'm going to stamp off before I stamp them here. going to stamp off, and then I'm going to fill in here some of our open spaces. Stamp off. And how am I going to do this? Fill in here. Stamp off. And then for sure we're going to fill in there. Cute, huh? Coming together pretty nicely. Ooh, Scrooge. That's a good one. I got on a Home Alone kick last time. I really like the Christmas music in Home Alone. It feels very festive. I really love, it was on, I think it was on like ABC Family one year. There's a Christmas movie called The 12 Dates of Christmas. It is the cutest darn thing. It has, I don't know his name, Zach from Saved by the Bell, Mark Paul Gosselaar or something like that. It has him in it. And I think her name is Amy Smart, maybe. She's in it. It's just the cutest thing. Love that one. But my favorite Christmas movie of all time is The Muppet Christmas Carol. And that annoys my husband too, because I watch it so many times this season. I start as soon as Halloween is over. I probably watch it on average once a day. I love it. It's always going in the background during the Christmas season. Okay, now these little dots I mounted here on an A block, and I grabbed my crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm just going to fill in some of these areas. With these little spots. They're kind of subtle, but in person, you can kind of see them here. In person, they definitely add to this image. Okay, those I did in crumb cake, and I want a little subtlety added in. Whoops, not my ink pad. We're going to do a little bit more of our spritzing with our ink. So I grabbed my Sahara sand marker, and I'm just going to flick a little bit of that ink. I'm trying very hard to kind of stay over this image. Just a little bit of ink flicked on there. How easy is this? Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, now we're going to set this aside. Now remember, I told you no die cutting needed. So you could die cut a small piece, but I've got a little strip of Very Vanilla here. And I am going to grab this sentiment that says magic is in the air. We're going to pop this up and grab my cherry cobbler so we kind of coordinate with those berries. I always like to double check and make sure I don't have any halos on my stamp set. What do you think? Good? That's pretty darn good. I'm always happy with myself when I'm able to center that sentiment really good. So, have any of you seen The Muppet Christmas Carol? You're probably just like, this girl is strange. Her and her kids' Christmas movies. My other favorite is the Garfield Christmas special, of course, because I love Garfield. I really loved that one because as a kid, we used to go to my grandparents' farm on Christmas Eve, and that one reminds me of going there. So I really loved the Garfield Christmas. Hey Karen, welcome. Ooh, the shimmery crystal effects. I've got those on order coming in. Anaka, that is a great idea. And you know, by the way, speaking of which, we haven't done this in a while. Should we do this? What do we say we Stella this up? We could Stella these holly berries and make them shimmery too. And they will shimmer and shine. And you can do a little spritzing, by the way, of Stella, just like that. And when you spritz her, you get some shimmer on your card base. All right, now I've got somewhere I want to put a little ribbon, so I'm just going to grab some linen thread. And the reason I chose this is that this feels like a very natural card, and I wanted to bring in a little natural texture to our like nature's elements here. And I thought linen thread would be awesome for that. So what I'm going to do here is just take this and tie it in a bow. And I'm notorious for getting bows that twist, but I'll say that this time it's okay because we're putting this bow behind our sentiment instead of in front. So what I'm going to do here is just check and see that's a little too big. And we're going to right size these loops. Like this. I think that will be okay. Yep. Okay. So let's, sometimes when I find a good placement, I like to just leave it right on the card. And my glue dot down here, and then place it over my glue dot so that I don't lose my fun placement where I just tested everything out. Hi Karen, welcome for joining. We're just about finished with our second card, but I'll show anyone who joined late in a minute both cards that we made tonight. And just a reminder, if you joined late, I'm doing a prize drawing next week for my viewers, and the best way for me to know that you are a viewer is for you to comment on or like. Comment and like is even better, this video. And I'm also doing a prize drawing for everyone who shares. So if you hit the share button, you'll be entered into my prize drawing. And the cool thing about that is that Facebook doesn't tell me who shared. So you need to comment that you shared for me to know that you did. So anyone joining late, and if you haven't said hello when you pop on, make sure you say something so I know you're here and throw your name in the drawing for a prize. It's been a while since I did prizes because when people won, they weren't claiming them, and I got a big stack of prizes piling up. But I have a goal to share stamping with as many people as possible. And so I'm going to use some prizes to help me reach that goal for all of you who are helping by sharing. Okay, put some mini dimensionals on the back of this sentiment strip, and I'm just going to put that over the top of our linen thread. And then we can, this just feels a little too long to me. Trim those edges. All right, now let's put it on our card base and see the whole thing put together. And then we'll bling it up with some of our red rhinestones. What do you say? Hey, Vicki, thanks for sharing. Oh, Melanie loves the berries. I absolutely love them too. They're so pretty. I love how the stamped images look painted and gorgeous. Love it. Okay, now, remember my tip. When I am sticking on a layer with dimensionals, I always lightly place it. And then I wait till I know it's in good position, and then I push it down. So that's what we're going to do here. Lightly place, and I'm checking that all my borders look even. My side, my tops, yep, that looks pretty good. And then we place it down. We literally just have stamps, ink, paper, and a little bit of ribbon. This is pretty simple stamping. I love it. Now, of course, you could, oh my goodness, you could decorate all along the edges in here. Oh, I should have thought of that. We could decorate all along the edges. You could write a nice long note in the center with all the edges decorated. I'll have to remember that for a card. We need to bling this up. Kay likes tone on tone. Thank you. Oh, thanks so much, Noelle and Vicki. Yeah, Melanie thinks little on the inside. I think that's a good idea. Okay, what I'm going to have to do is stamp it and show you guys on Facebook how it turned out. What do you think? All right, now let's put our bling. Oh gosh. I didn't need to place that there. Here. Let's do one here. 1, 2, I think down here would be a good place. Here. What do you think? Do you love? Oh my gosh, these images make it so easy. Okay, I will make that commitment to you. I will stamp the inside and post it on Facebook, and we'll see what you guys think of the stamped inside all around the edges and how we can make that work. Okay, now I told you that we could use the die cut piece from our seasonal labels dies. So here's my design card, a little more splotching in that one. But here's how that one turned out with the die cut piece. I need to get some different lights because this desktop is, yeah, very clean and simple. I agree, Arliss. I'm really drawn to the clean and simple cards lately. And listen, if you were doing a stack of Christmas cards, this would be perfect. You cut all your layers and you stamp all the sprigs on every layer, stamp the holly berries on every layer, then stamp the regular berries on every layer, do your spritzing, attach your sentiment, and you're good to go. This makes for a super easy, super gorgeous Christmas card. So if you didn't catch our first card, okay, so we got our simple, clean and simple here. And here's our first card we made, also a little clean and simple. Aren't those gorgeous? Let me see if I can zoom in a little without it getting too distorted. There we go. Yeah, so don't forget, thank you so much, everyone, for showing up, even though Facebook had so many challenges. It was really fun stamping with you tonight. I was a little nervous no one would show up, and then I would be talking to myself, and it was really fun connecting and hearing about your favorite Halloween movies and favorite Christmas movies. I'm really happy I could show you all some clean and simple cards that will be easy for you to duplicate. And don't forget about my class to go. Like, that is going to be so much fun to put together these gift sets of cards. You've got tons of ordering options with add-on options available, and you can end up with 4 gifts that you give away. A box full of cards is always the most popular gift at my family's Steal a gift Christmas. It's always fun, and I always bring a gift box full of cards, and they're like fighting over it. So it'll be a wonderful gift, and that's how we wanted to design this month's card class. So if you are looking to purchase that class to go, and actually got a little graphic here. If you're looking to purchase that class to go, you can just head on over to my website, www.rosegrunwald.com, and across the top of the page, there's a link that says classes to go. You know what, Pat? I think you did, but I'm going to double check when we're done and let you know for sure. I think you did sign up for this one. It says classes to go, and if you click that link right in there, right in like a drop-down menu, it lists all of the current classes to go that I have. Now, the only one on pre-order right now is this Christmas season class to go. That pre-order closes in like less than 2 weeks. So the pre-order is what secures your kit, and for sure you'll get a kit. I have a couple kits left in my previous classes to go. Those are available on a first come, first served basis because I have a limited supply in my inventory left for those. But any of them that I have available are listed there in that drop-down menu as well. So if that's something you're interested in and you just need a little help navigating, I would be happy to help you out. Just shoot me a DM or send me an email at countrycardsbyrose@gmail.com. I am happy to help. And Pat, that's the first thing I'm going to do as soon as we disconnect here is double check that you did order that and let you know. So, all right, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be live again next week at 7 o'clock Central Time, and we're going to be talking about how to get supplies on a budget, and I have got some fun projects for you there. I cannot wait to stamp with you again next week, and I hope you all have a great evening and a great rest of your week. I'll be stamping with you soon. Bye.